Amazing. Welcome aboard, guys. My name's Callum. I'll be speaking to you a little bit about the local history of the area. We've also got Ian behind the bar for all of your alcoholic and non-alcoholic requirements. And we've got Axel on the back of the boat who's driving. You can't see him, but he is there somewhere because we're going in a straight line. Now, before we properly get going, we just need to do a little bit of housekeeping. So we only have 2 rules on the boat. They're really easy to follow and they must be followed at all times, just so we can. The first rule is please remain seated while the boat is in motion, unless you need to see Ian at the bar or use the bar. There's 43 of you on board today, and for all 43 of you, we have 6 life rings available. So you will have to fight for them. Now, if we do hit an iceberg and sink like the Titanic, the water will only come up to about here on me. It's about 4 feet deep in the deepest parts. Ian, is there anyone less than 4 feet over there? Okay, anyone that's less than 4 feet tall, don't panic, just find a shopping trolley to stand on. Amazing. So if you've seen the new movie, you may recognise the building just coming up on the right-hand side with the white frontage. It's a pub called the Tap and Spile, and it was used in 2024 as one of the filming locations for the new movie. Cillian Murphy was seen outside there. One of the facts about Cillian Murphy that not many people know is that when he was driving the boats in the first season, it actually wasn't him driving at all. It was one of our drivers crouched down in front of him out of view operating the bagger doing it himself, bless him. And that is a true story. But aside from all the fame and fortune on the canal systems today, does anybody know why they were even built to begin with? Any ideas? Trade, coal industry. They were the old version of Deliveroo, essentially. So they were built about 250 years ago during the Industrial Revolution for the primary purpose of carrying coal, limestone, and carrying between 40 and 60 tons of cargo. There were about 6,000 miles of canal to begin with, and we're now down to about 2,000 miles. The canal right now is called Birmingham Canal Navigations. The canal just under this bridge here is the start of the Worcester-Birmingham Canal. Now originally these canal networks were not linked together, they were totally separate, and they were owned and operated by rival companies that didn't really like each other very much. So if you wanted to take your cargo from here to Worcester, you'd have a problem, because the networks weren't connected. So to get around your 60 tons of cargo by hand onto the side, move it 6 feet, and put it on the boat in the other canal. So it wasn't the most effective way of doing things. In fact, it was rather stupid. But it actually went on like this for 20 long years. The company's here under the bridge. Now, someone would be living in a building that's now the Tap and Spile, and they would come out to collect toll money from the boaters and operate the lock machinery for them. Now, that lock was 73 feet long. The boats using it was 71.5 feet. So there wasn't a lot of room for making any mistakes or much manoeuvring. But to make it worse, that lock would be used 24 hours a day, so including at night, just by using candles as a form of illumination. So as you can imagine, fixtures on the side of the Tap and Spile, one by the white door and one at the end of the white wall. Now coal would be smelted in a building behind the Tap and Spile, and the flammable gases produced by this process will be put through what is technically Broad Street Tunnel, but it's locally known as Black Sabbath Bridge, as it's just above us here on Broad Street, where the first industrial canal was actually constructed in England. Any idea? Manchester, well done. It was the Bridgewater Canal in Manchester, and that canal was actually constructed totally by accident. There was a mine owner in Manchester, and the further we dug underground, the more water would flood his mine. So he built a trench to drain the water away, and this gave him a vision, but he had no idea how to implement it himself. So he hired an engineer named Mr. James Brinley, hence the name Brinley Cruises and Brinley Place on the left, full of many coal and limestone mines, and full of factories and foundries that would be operating and burning coal 24 hours a day. Now this would create so much smoke from the coal fields in the Black Country to the centre of Birmingham. Now the Black Country is about 8 miles. Oh, everyone shouted at me there. You can't guess it. So, 6, 10, 20, we're going in the wrong direction. Yes, prize for this gentleman. Amazing. So it was indeed 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. So I think HS2 could take a leaf out of Mr. Williams' book. This gentleman here. The one with the smug look on his face. What made it even more impressive was that canal was built in part by children.
Oh.
Now, there were risks of roof collapses, toxic gases, not to mention the little ones using dynamite to extract the raw materials. Now, this resulted in an incredibly low average life expectancy in this area. Any guesses on how long you could expect to live? Say again? 17? 22 years old, prize appearing, amazing. It was indeed 22 years old. And that reduced even further to 16 years old during the cholera outbreak. Now, Mr. Brindley actually wouldn't be paid a penny for his canal until it was completed in full and inspected. So 2 years and 3 weeks later, and he finally got his money. But something awful happened the next day. Any idea what happened? Someone stole the canal? Any other guesses?
Someone broke it.
Someone broke it? Worse. It was a lot worse than that. Amazing. He died the very next day after he